Right, hello everybody. It's Jackie. I always feel like doing Tracy Fox. Hello, hello. So I just have. Thank you, Tracy. I love the way you introduce your videos. I'm back today with some more of these loaded altered bags with tags, and these are pretty loaded. I've got 3 ready, and I'm going to video them one at a time. I'm going to start with these 2, so let's move that one out of the way. And before I decide which one I start with, I'll just tell you that it's very exciting news for me. Mrs. Cog, I've now started as a design team member for Elizabeth, Mrs. Cog's Crafts. Obviously there'll be a link below for you to go and have a look at her gorgeous kits and even more gorgeous journals. Yeah, thank you, Liz, for the opportunity. I do love working with your kits anyway, as you probably know. Anyway, this time I kind of wanted to show how to use kits in a slightly different way. And so I've used Redoute Roses. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, but the Redoute Roses kit and the Yellow in the Garden kit to do 2 of these bags. So we'll start with the roses. If you saw my last videos, it's very similar, although they are all a little bit different. There's a charm on the bag. It's an altered lunch bag and it measures approximately 8 by 5. You can see what I've done on the front. I've decorated it with lace and papers that I already had in my stash that kind of went with the kit. The charm is handmade, and in the front pocket I've got one of the printables. I've just cut it down and glued it on there, die cut it, glued it onto die cut card, sewed the buttons on, and you've got a little button card there. This is the window frame tag that I like to make, and again this is one of the printables behind this cutout window, and I've just backed that with pattern paper. This, I guess, is Mr. Redoute himself. I thought he'd look nice on the front here. This is, oh, I meant to look this up again. I need to find out who made these tags originally because it wasn't my idea. I'm not sure if mine are the same anymore as the originals. It's definitely not a real postage stamp. I cut that, reduced the size, cut that out, and I've snipped it with some pattern scissors to make it look like a stamp. There's a button, some vintage sari and some lace. Oh, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat this morning. And then in the bag there's a whole selection of tags and envelopes which you can use as is or use in your journals, whatever you want really. So this is a Tracy Fox Gibidneri style envelope, and there's a couple of journal cards in there from the kit, printables from the kit. That isn't from the kit. I cut that from something else. I think that's the only thing that isn't from the kit. And then there's an envelope here made out of the Edith Holden paper, and again I've made a couple of journal cards to put in there. It's lovely, lovely printable. There's 3 actually in there. Liz's kits are quite big generally and just gorgeous. That's probably my favourite image from it. And then I've used one of the printables to make a glassine bag. Just decorated it with some lace, some trim, and another journal card in there. If you saw my last one of these, I decoupaged napkins over, in this case, dictionary paper and onto card. I wanted to use the kit, so what I did was use Fox's idea of printing onto tracing paper, which I then die cut and stuck over the dictionary page. The only thing you can't do, because well, you could if you've got a laser jet printer, but I've only got an inkjet printer, so you can't actually Mod Podge or put any medium over the top because that would make it smudge. But it does work really well with tracing paper. I used a clear glue, something like Fabri-Tac or Collor glue, and that seemed to work great. Then I've made this little tag, which I've made before with cigarette cards, but in this time I cut down one of the images from the kit, mounted it onto some off-white paper. I've inked all the edges and things so you can't really tell the colours so well, to make it look like a tea card. And I've actually done a little bit of fancy stitching on this one just for a change, and that worked really well. This one, this beautiful image from the Roses kit, I've just left exactly as it is. I just thought that was too lovely to do anything with. All I have done is stamp a postcard back and stick it onto that. So that's your postcard. This is, again, decoupage tracing paper over one of these garment tags. I'm not quite sure what you call these. It's got garment written there, so maybe garment tag, and just fancied that up a bit with some trim. There's another tea card tag in this one. Again, I've made the tea card, lace and trim on the bottom. I've included a Tracy Fox hanging tag, and again I think in this case I reduced, it's this lady, so I reduced it down to fit onto the hangy bit of this. Thank you, Tracy. And some really pretty scrapbook paper. This image I just loved as well. There's some very pale pink lace there. I think this is from a Tim Holtz Small Talk, and just layered that up over some cheesecloth and book page. And then finally, just so that I could use the last image, I think I've used every one of the images in this. There's another journal card, some pretty paper on the back. So I really hope you like that. I'm going to change that colour to pink. And this will go up into my Etsy shop soon. Thank you.